السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. ربنا زدنا علما، اللهم فقهنا في الدين، اللهم إني أسألك علما نافعا ورزقا طيبا وعملا متقبلا آمين يا رب العالمين. So here we are with our session number 224 for Quranic Arabic Grammar, in which we are learning Surf and Nahu of Surat Al-Mulk. And let's start, inshallah. So in the last session, Alhamdulillah, we were able to cover few of the verses, and we stopped at فَكَذَّبْنَا. Am I right? Okay. So Bismillah, let's start from فَكَذَّبْنَا. We call this fa as faul atf, and kazzabna is our fail madin with file damir baris muttasil naul fileen. Do you all agree with that? Right? You cannot hear me? You can hear me or not? You cannot hear me. Okay. 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 So, Sister Aisha, do you want to call it what type of a power it is according to you? You want to call it tali because it is translated as but? Okay, so that could be another possibility for that as well. If your fa is going to be something that is translated as but or because, that fa can be treated as fa talil. However, here we are seeing qad ja'ana nazirun. There came a warner to us, and then what happened? We belied him, and we belied and we said Allah has not sent down anything. So it could be understood as Saut Ali. And remember one thing, there is something inherent to any of harf atf. Even when it is divided into several different types, you will notice that there is some quality that is intrinsic to it. It will retain that quality. So what is the quality of fa? When I asked you, give me one quality of fa, what is that quality? So Sister Faiza is saying that no, give me the quality. It is atf, yeah, but what is the quality of this fa? What does it do when it is acting as a connector? What is the main function of this fa? Every time, whenever the fa comes, I use certain terms. Lit tartib wa taqib. Lit tartib wa taqib. Do you all remember? So what is tartib in Urdu or in English? What is tartib in English? That there is a sequence, right? There is a sequence. So always remember something. You may find different opinions from different Nahu scholars. Some may call a harf as, they may treat it as atf, other may call it ta'lil. But how and where this overlap is coming from is that there is something inherent to that harf fa, and that is sequence. Okay, will you all remember this? So if it is always going to be something that is special about the fa is that there is a sequence and there is a result of something in embedded in the meaning of the fa, then even when it is acting as ta'lil, you will have the flavor of that little bit flavor of that the inherent quality in that fa as well. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, it may not apply always, but it will apply in more than 85% of the cases. Okay, you will notice that in different haruf. There is a difference of opinion. The difference of opinion comes from because there is something that is inherent to that very harf or that very word, and even when it is treated in a different manner, even if it has a very different type, that meaning stays there, that there's always something. Many times when you see faul fasiha, even all different types, you will notice that there is always, tartib wa taqib embedded there. For example, faul sababiya, when you will see that, you will also find something like that. There may be fa that you may consider as sababiya. Why so? This is because there is something inherent in that fa that will leave its impact in any type whatsoever type of fa is there. There's going to be, you will see some effect of that intrinsic quality. Okay, inshallah. Yeah, so now comes your waqulna. Now there's he came to us, and then what we did, we belied and we said. So waw at and kulna is going to be your fail madin, right? Jumlatul failya, fail madin, wanna is the doer, now fileen is your doer. After kulna, kala yakulu, again, you are seeing something which is called makulul qawl, right? And fi mahalli nasbin. And in this makulul qawl, you have a ma, and this ma, if I asked you what type of ma is this, what will be the type of ma? It is ma nafiya, ghair amila. Ma nafiya has three types. It can be ma al-hijaziya in jumlatul ismiya, where its khabar is nasbin status. It can be ma muhmila, where it will be just have no action because either its khabar is present before mubtada, or there is an illa between its khabar and mubtada, or there is another case where it can have the loss of an action if it is followed by in zaida, and I have not covered that very much with you because ma nafiya followed by in zaida was not very commonly seen in Quran. But when you will master the nahu through different resources, you will find that if there is in zaida following ma nafiya, that is another case where ma al hijaziya or ma al amila will lose its action, and it's going to be muhmila. Its khabar is going to be rough in status. Okay, it's then you will label mubtada as mubtada and khabar as khabar. You are not going to call in case of mal muhmila anything as ismuma or khabruma. You will just label that very sentence as, you will simply label it as mubtada and khabar. Okay, is this clear to all of you? Alhamdulillah. So for now, whatever you know about ma nafia is that is that will suffice, because we are learning Quranic Arabic grammar. But sometimes we do go into the detail of different things, and the third case may come up, and if ma nafia is followed by in zaida, there is a case that is also a case when ma is going to be muhmila. And here ma is ghair amila because it is entering into jumlatul failya. Every time you are going to see ma nafiya negating a jumlatul failya, just call it ma ghair amila, because it does not change the i'rab of the sentence. It has no action. It is just doing the job of negation. Is this clear to all of you? The jumla that is following ma nafiya is nazzalallahu, and this is jumlatul failya, fail madin, wal fa'il, lafzul jalala, right? And min shay'in, how will you label this min shay'in? It is jar wal majroor, very well done. And min here is going to be labeled as min zaida. And in case of a sentence where you have, what are the condition for min zaida? Min zaida always is going to be followed by an ism that is nakira. First condition for its action is going to be that it is going to be found in either it is going to be found in a sentence that is a negative sentence, or a sentence is a question sentence. Here we find a negative sentence because the sentence is beginning with manafia. The second condition is it is always going to attach itself to an ism that is nakira. It will attach itself to, in case of jumla failure, there are two possibilities that it can attach itself to. It can either attach itself to the file, or it can attach itself to the maf'ul. Very good job, my dear sisters. In this case, it is attaching itself to maf'ul bihi or file. We already have our file, so we are noticing here that this min is attached to maf'ulun bihi. Always remember, if your fail is lazim, min zaida only attaches itself to the file. If your fi'l is mutaaddi, only in that case it is going to attach itself to maf'ulun bihi, which it has in this case, which was shay'an. And now, since there was an added emphasis meant here, therefore, min zaida attached itself to maf'ulun bihi, and it from shay'an it changed into min shay'in. So, as Sister Shamim is writing, that this min shay'in is majroor lafzan. Shay'in is majroor lafzan, but mansub mahallan because it is mafulun bihi for our fail nazzala. Everyone must be able to understand this so far, and if you have any confusion, let me know now. Everyone with me? Easy so far? Alhamdulillah? Okay, now comes your next sentence. Do we have another sentence here? Yes or no? Yes. Now you're in, if you talk to Arabs, if you talk to an Arab teacher, what are they going to tell you? In bimana ma. Okay? In is going to be in the meaning of ma nafiya. Is this clear to all of you? It works just like ma nafiya. Is this clear to all of you? So min, when you have in and ma, in is, it works, it has a meaning of a ma. Here, if it has a meaning of a ma, and I'm saying that this works essentially just like ma, what type of in it is going to be? If it is in followed by illa, you start to think about in Nafia. You start to think about in Nafia, right? When you have in Nafia and you have, what kind of a sentence you have here? Antum fi dalalin kabir. You are in a very big loss or a very big destruction. So here it is present in a jumlatul ismiya. So if it works like ma nafia, so there are two possibilities again, right? It can be in amila or in muhmila, right? In amila, just like ma al amila or ma al hijaziya, or in muhmila. So if there is an illa which is present between mubtada and whatever comes after, what do we think now? Because after your mubtada you are finding an illa, so you are going to call this in muhmila, right? And fi dalalin kabir is going to be jar wal majroor mutaalliq bil, right? Your mutaalliq bil fi dalalin, jar wal majroor, and kabirin is going to be the sifa for dalalin. Why is kabir jar in status? Because it is a sifa for dalalin, right? Because the mawsuf words Jarin status, and the follower, it is the sifa is one of the followers, and your matbu and tabe must be in the same, or must be of the same status. Your follower follows the status of the ism that it follows. Remember, you all are with me on that every time you have a follower, it is going to follow the status of the ism that it is following. Okay, so now I hope everyone has understood everything so far. So whole sentence is hal in antum illa fi dalalin kabir. So yeah, what do you think? What about rest of the sisters? Sister Diba is asking, can this sentence be jumlatul haliya? How many of you think that this can be considered jumlatul haliya? Yeah, so the thing is, if this was the statement of Hazanatuha, if this was the statement of the Hazanatuha, and who are those Hazanatuha? Who can tell me? You remember there was a conversation going on between the people of the hellfire and the angels. Khazanatuha were the angels, right? So Khazanatuha, if this in Antumillah fi dalalin kabir is a statement of this, and the statement, if we think that the statement of the companions of hellfires ended at Shay'in, and this is a statement of those angels, not you all, except in the Lalin Kabir. So, we can, in that case, this could be, describing the condition of that, but Otherwise, I will, just you can think of it, that they are saying that now describing that to them, that your condition is such that you are in a big loss now, right? But it's somewhat, I would say, um, little, I would, how would, I will just try to, to take things simple, and just, we can just also consider this, that, it's just, a sentence coming off of whatever has been mentioned before. And as Sister Shamim is now saying that, this could be treated as istinaf, and we can, just consider that, just, it is just a progression, because ma nazzallahu min shayin. And we said, because they are saying this is the statement of the people of the hellfire. Whatever has been mentioned before has been said by Wakulna, and we said, Allah has not sent anything. Now comes, you are not, but in great error. They're not, this cannot be continuation of that makulul qawl. This cannot be a continuation of the Makulul Qawl, right? Think about it. It cannot be the continuation of the Makulul Qawl. It is coming now from another source, right? It is an independent statement. If there is a new statement, you can call it istinaf, or you can just, think of it, um, that, this was the Makulul Qawl for something, that, this is also a Makulul Qawl which has been said by those angels. And the in response to that, the angel said, in antum illa fi dalalin kabir, right? And that is, omitted from here, right? That is omitted from here. But is it being understood from the context? Are you able to understand it, that, this could be the statement of those angels, that you are only in a very big loss, right? You did a very, you chose yourself a very big loss, right? So this can be, and when something can be understood from the context, then you can, you can say that, there is a qala, or khazanatuha in antum illa fi dalalin kabir, that, and you can say that, that this is makulul call for the statement of the angels, or you can just, say that this is a new topic, this is a new sentence, or, this could be again the statement describing the condition of those people who are in the hellfire. Make sense? And now, see here, what, now there is another statement coming up, and it's again, going back to those people who were being asked by the guardians of hellfire. وَقَالُوا لَوْ كُنَّا نَسْمَعُ أَوْ نَعْقِلُ. So now, who is this going back to? Is this the Fauj that is being interrogated by the guardians of hellfire? Right? Okay. Yeah. So wow is at, and then qalu, and they said. First they said, قَدْ جَاءَ بَلَا قَدْ جَاءَنَا نَذِيرٌ فَكَذَّبْنَا وَقُلْنَا مَا نَزَّلَ اللَّهُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ. Right? And then what did they say? They said, قَالُوا فِعْلْ مَاضٍ وَالْوَاوُ Wabil Jama is the file, and again comes your statement. What kind of a sentence you are seeing? You are seeing Jumlatu Shartiya. Jumlatu Shartiya beginning with law. And when you look at law, what kind of um, adwatu shart, adatu shart law is? Is it jazima or ghairul jazima? What do you think? Ghair jazima. So I have a question on my a YouTube channel. How many of you have attempted that question? That was Rubama, some Yavaddu, and following that was low. How many of you were able to attempt that? Almost all did. Okay, so very proud of you guys. You did. Okay. So my dear sisters, is there still a confusion about types of low when you see them? You still get confused on low. Yeah, so make sure that everyone must know from Suratul Fatiha till Suratul Nas. If you are someone who is beginning your journey of grammar, if you are someone, and I'm talking to those people who this is their first time in learning advanced grammar. Anytime, this is the first time learning these advat. Okay, keep in mind your law can be either shartiya in Quran Kareem, or it can be law masdariya. Okay, if will you think about law masdariya? Very good job, Dilruba. If you have failed vadda yavaddu, only after that you can start thinking about law masdariya, because that law has a meaning of an. You just, even if you pluck an there, it will have the same connotation. However, now whatever is being expected here is going to be a thing of a distance. It's not going to be immediately fulfilled. It is something, that has both in it because of the law being in it. And that is how, not two words in Arabic are going to have the same meaning. Ibn Taymiyyah, the great scholar of his time, he said that there are no two words that you will find in Quran that will have the same meaning. Okay, Nazala, Anzala, we have covered that. You know how they're different. Similarly, if we are saying that low has a meaning of un, there is something again that you will find in the translation that will have a flavor or the intrinsic meaning that will have a meaning that is intrinsic to low. Remember that. Okay, keep that in mind. So however, whenever you have vadda yavuddu, you will notice if the law is following vadda yavuddu, the law is going to be making masdar al muawwal, which is going to be fi mahalli nasbin mafulun bihi. Is this clear to all of you? Everyone got it? Alhamdulillah. So for any student, at least the bare minimum is, remember, if there is low masdariya, where do you expect to see it? You are going to find it after fail vadda yavuddu. You are going to think about low masdariya in that case, and you will notice that there is no jawab. There is no jawab. Do you see any jawab here? Low you ammaru, low you ammaru alfa sinatin, right? That he is given 1000 years of life, right? ود كثير من أهل الكتاب لو يردونكم من بعد إيمانكم كفارا. So there is no jawab. There is no jawab, and this low, the whole chunk is acting as مصدر المؤول مفعول به for fail wadda. What do they want? They want that you all return to kufr after your iman out of jealousy. What do they want? In the first verse from Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 96, every one of them wants that he is given a life which is 1000 years. Is this clear? That it isn't it not answering your what question? It is answering your ma question. What do they want? And that whenever you have a ma or man question, that maf'ul that answers your ma and man question is called maf'ulun bihi, and this law is doing that job. Okay, keep that in mind, inshallah. So this is the bare minimum that you all must know. Okay, inshallah. So now comes your law again. And this is your adatu shart ghayr jazima, and your shart in this case is kunna nasma'u aw naqilu, and then comes your kunna is going to be fi'l madin nasikh, and here your ismu kana is naul mutakallimin, which is dhamir bariz muttasil, right? And nasma'u is going to be, what is the status of nasma'u in this case? Who can tell me the status of nasma'u? Nasma'u is fail mudare. First of all, it is mudare marfu bidammatu zahira, and it is fi mahalli nasbin, because it is khabru kana, right? Aw is going to be harf atf. Naqilu is going to be your matuf, and is going to follow. It is also going to be fi mahalli nasbin, because of, why is going to be this naqilu is also going to be fi mahalli nasbin because of atf, right? So always remember, these are basic concepts. You don't need to be master. You just need to know the basic. Okay, inshallah. So now comes your, after any shart, after any jumla to shartiya, you look for jawab, right? You look for jawab, and here the jawab is ma kunna fi ashabi sa'ir. So ma here, what type of ma is this? Ma is ma nafiya. Usually, not always, in jawab of law, if it is a positive sentence, how will you notice the jawab is going to begin? It begins with a lam. Very good job. It begins with lamul waqiya fi jawabu shart, right? So lam is not here. Why is it not here? Because your sentence is a negative sentence. In Quran, for a negative jawab of law, you do not see lamul waqiya. Okay? Do we always see lamul waqiya fi jawabu shart in case of every jawab of law when it is a positive sentence? Yes, you la is there, lam is there, but it may not also be there. Okay, remember we have covered that not every jawab is going to begin with lam, if even if it is a positive sentence, but we generally see the lam, but it may not always be there. Always remember whatever we have covered in the basic grammar, because that is your bread and butter. Okay, that is all you need to know. Then comes ma nafiya, and just consider here, will you think about Hijaziya or Muhmila here, or will you call it Ghair Amila? You are simply going to call it a Ghair Amila. Okay, it is Ghair Amila, and then you go to Kunna, Fail Madin, Nasikh, Naqis, Wa Ismu Kana, Naul Mutakallimin, and your fi ashabi sayyid is going to be mutalik bil khabar. في أصحاب السير في أصحاب is going to be jar wal majroor. أصحاب السير السيري is going to be written as majroor bil idafa, because it is mudafun ilayhi. That is why it is jar in status. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Now, before I take you on, to learn something more about Suratul Mulk, I just want to make sure that you have not forgotten this. If someone, you know, translates this Nazir as warning, will there be any problem? Will there be any issue? So, Aisha, why will there be a problem? Yeah, in that case, yeah. So Warner, you're seeing the translation, and it is translated as Warner, warning, warning can be a possibility as well. And for those of you who agree that warning is also a possibility, what is the rationale behind that? What makes you think that this could be warning as well? I can treat it as warning too. What is there in the spelling of the word? What is there in the spelling of the word that helps you, you know, easily treat this word as a warning as well? Remember when I was we were in the last few sessions, we went over what is called our patron fa'il, right? Cool facts about patron fa'il, right? Most commonly known as sifat al-mushabba, right? A person who always wants, who's always there, who has an inherent quality of warning, making people conscious of something that has not yet occurred, but just giving them a caution. Okay, be careful, don't put yourself into trouble. Okay, who's always there, has other people's benefits, and they always have the always think of other people, and they are always informing them ahead of time. Then you know um, this fa'il pattern can be a sigatul mubalagha too, like word alim. It can be a qiyasi masdar pattern too. So warning, when it comes to warning, is it a file, maf'ul, or an idea? It is an idea, right? It is an idea. It is an idea. So when it is an idea, it has a masdar meaning. So you will find in Quran. So that is why it is very important. And this word is among those words where you will notice that this has been translated as warnings as well. So please keep that in mind, that this can be correct too. Did the warning not come to you? But here it is absolutely more correct to call it Warner, to translate it as Warner, because here, we are noticing that, the people have belied. And but remember, keep in mind that it can be warning too. Okay, and remember all those facts that we have gone over in the previous session, that the fa'il pattern can be a pattern for ism tasghir. It can be a plural pattern as well, like abid. And you have noticed this word abid in Quran, and na'im, which is blessings, can be a broken plural. And abid again can be a broken plural for word abd. Okay, both cases, yes, that's the thing. It is fa'ilun. Fa'ilun. That is what we are discussing, that morphologically, according to Surf, the word is going to be spelled the same. Okay, but it can have a different meaning as well. So from warning, a person who warns versus, you know who gives warning, to warning itself, you know there is a difference, but both meanings can be captured by word nazir. And this is so commonly used in Quran that we must know that this has been used as warner, and this has also been has been used as warning too. Okay, and you, even in the same verse, you can notice that you can somehow apply that too. Okay. Okay, so before I go on to verse number 11, just real quick, um, whenever we have iza or we have kullama, can anyone tell me? Yeah, absolutely, Shimi. Yeah, absolutely. This can be captured. You're right. So Iza and Kullama, you have you have noticed them as a zar, right? You treat them as a zar words, and they are gair jazima and everything. And they're always going to be. How are we? They're always going to be muta'alliq bil fail, muta'alliq bil their jawab, right? Whenever Iza shartiya is there or Kullama is there, it is always going to be muta'alliq bil jawab. Do you all agree? Alhamdulillah. So when you have kullama and you treat this sentence, when you call the whole sentence, how will you treat the whole sentence as? What is the i'rab? I'm not asking the meaning. I'm going to ask you about the i'rab. What is going to be the i'rab of ulkiya fiha fawjun? It is mudafun ilayhi. Jumla is mudafun ilayhi. Fi mahalli jar. Okay. So, my dear sisters, I just want to make sure that you all have this little picture in your mind. So, this I have, we have covered the word as, these words as, among those words, that have a sentence as their mudaf ilayhi, right? We have been doing it for a while, right? When it comes to kullama, when it comes to kullama, you may see kullama as broken up into two parts. Can you all see my slide? And you notice here the first kullama, I kept it together. I treated it as one word. When I treat it as one word, when I treat it as one word, listen very carefully. When I treat it as one word, what do? I call the jumla that is following it as fi mahalli jar mudafin ilayhi. Okay? Do you notice that? And you have covered it like that, right? Many books will cover it just like that we have been doing in the past. Then you can find kullama as kulla plus ma al masdariya. Okay, kulla ma al masdariya. If you divide it like that, can the sentence ulkiya, can the sentence now be the mudaf ilayhi for kulla? So what is now mudaf ilayhi? How will you now treat your mudaf ilayhi? Now let me just, underline this part, because the together, the first one you are all master of. Okay, now you are going to, when you say ma is masdariya, the masdar al-mu'awwal is now going to be fi mahalli jar, right? Ma plus that jumla, masdar al-mu'awwal together becomes masdar al-mu'awwal, and that thing becomes our, that's masdar al-mu'awwal becomes our fi mahalli jar, right? Simple, clear to all of you. So when we treat it like that, now will we think of kulla as mabni or mu'arrab? Are we treating it as mabni or mu'arrab? We are treating it as mu'arrab. Very good job. We are treating it as mu'arrab. And the third case where you are going to separate, you can separate kulla and ma is, you treat kulla as kulla. You treat ma masdariya zamaniya. Ma masdariya zamaniya. When ma masdariya zamaniya is there, again what is going to happen? There will be a masdar al-mu'awwal. The same thing. Masdar al-mu'awwal is going to be fi mahalli jar. But now, what is the i'rab for kulla? What is your kulla now? Now, the kulla is going to be treated as mansoob, because it is naib anis zarf. It is naib anis zarf. Is this clear to all of you? I know it is a little too much, but for those of you who have, covered all the things, and it's just a repetition and is a review, why is this in second option? Why is this zarf? Have you, when we were learning ma masdariya, how many types of ma masdariya are there? How many types of, there is a question now, why are we calling it zarf? Okay, so there are two types of mal masdariya. In the table that we have been going over, you have learned that there are two types of mal masdariya. One is zarfiya, one is zamaniya, and the other one is ghair zamaniya. So the first one on this slide, ma masdariya is ghair zamaniya. The second one is ma masdariya zamaniya, that comes with madama, as Sister Rabiha is saying, right? The one with madama and words of that sort come. Okay, so this one is, they think that this ma masdariya is zamaniya, and I will add here, and for your clarity, that this kulla plus ma masdariya ghair zamaniya is there, and there is no difference. You're just it's just for the clarity. If you need more clarity, there is no problem. I will you can add in your notes that kulla plus ma masdariya ghair zamaniya, masdar muawwal is fi mahalli jar of kulla, and in that case, when I'm treating kulla like that, kulla is acting like mu'arrab ism. It is not acting like mabni ism, because only mu'arrab ism can take an mufrad ism, or a word that is acting like a mufrad ism as it mudafun ilayhi. Do you all remember that? Do you all remember that? That mufrad ism on your slide, those words that are mu'arrab, like yoma, hina, they can take both jumla and mufrad ism as their mudaf ilayhi. If you want your kulla to act like that, in that case it is thought to be mu'arrab, that is nasb in status based on its position in the sentence, and this masdar muawwal is fi mahalli jar, and both cases it is going to be masdar muawwal fi mahalli jar. But in the last case, you are just going to call kulla as naib anis zarf. And I remember in Surah Rahman, there was a word that was kulla again, and there was a question by Sister Diba at that time, that why this word is nasb status in that very verse, which was Jumlatul Ismiya, and there was, I think, Yawmin was the Mudafun ilayhi for that, and at that time too, Kulla was the Naib and Zarf, that is why it was Nasb status in Jumlatul Ismiya. So similarly, in every case, if you want to treat it using the third way, calling your ma masdariya zamaniya, your kulla becomes naib and zarf because it is a naib for its mudafun ilayhi. Is this clear to all of you? I know it's a little tricky information, but I just wanted to make sure. Yeah, you can go back and inshallah, just you because this may be found in the books. So it is in translation, everything is going to be the same. In translation, there's no point in overcomplicating. It's going to be translated the same. They have the same meaning. Always remember this information. This information is going to be relevant for all times with all three types. You also always need to know there is a takrar, there is a takrar, there is a takrar, there is recurrence of the result in response to the recurrence of the condition. Whenever it is going to be, the meaning does not change. Okay, it is how things are treated differently. That's all. That's the only thing. Okay, inshallah. So now comes to your now I think we should but for those of us if we the easy way, because we have been just calling the whole sentence as mudaf ilayhi fi mahalli jarin. I think I will stick to that. If that is keeping things easy for all of us, we are just going to call kullama. We treat it as a single word and we just call whatever happens here as muta'alliq bil jawab, which is sa'alahum khazanatuha. Is this clear to all of you? That you can just treat this as together, where then the whole sentence is fi mahalli jarin mudafun ilayhi, and this whole chunk is muta'alliq bil its jawab. And so is the case with iza. Iza is always going to be muta'alliq bil its jawab when iza is shartiya, zarfiya, ismiya. Okay, now we have verse number 11, fa'tarafu bi dhanbihim. So what will happen after they will say that everything whatever they have said, then they will go on to say then they will admit to their sins. You have a sentence, yes, can be istinaf. The fa here can be istinaf, starting something new, because you notice there is something low when they are saying, and now there is a something, they are there is some shift there, and you can treat the fa as istinaf. There is something new starting after their statements. They will, what they will do, they will accept their sins, they will admit to whatever they sins that they did, right? Itarafu, what kind of a word is that? Is it starting? What kind of a sentence are we in? Sister Kazi is saying that this is Jumlatul Filia, and itarafu is Fail Madin, wal File, Wabil Jama'a, Bizambihim is going to be your jar wal majroor, and it is going to be your muta'alliq, and him is going to be the last word, him, that is attached to zambi is majroor bil idafa, and in that ha is the damir, mim is the harf that is for jama, right? Easy. Okay, so now comes, there is a curse on those people who are the people of Sa'ir. So here again, فَسُحْقًا لِأَصْحَابِ السَّعِيرِ. Fa is going to be considered as istinaf, and suhkan is treated as masdar, right? It is a masdar, and it is going to be maful mutlaq li fi'li mahzuf, li fi'li mahzuf, li ashabi sa'ir, li jar wal majroor, and ashabi sa'ir is an idafa, right? Here, you are noticing that your fail is omitted, and Sister Faiza is saying that it is a case where it is wajib for your fail to be omitted. In this case, it is wajib for a fail to be omitted before um, your maful mutlaq. And why so? Because it is a curse or a dua against someone. So it is one of the conditions where we have learned that it is among those conditions where it is wajib for your maful to be your amil to be omitted. The fail is omitted because it is either, if it is a dua, it is forbidding, or there is a command, or there is istifham. Okay, so here the omission is because it is a curse against the people of Sa'ir. So the next verse, in verse number 12, we see what kind of a sentence here. Jumlatul Ismiya. So Jumlatul Ismiya beginning with inna. Inna allazina. Allazina is going to be ismu inna, and allazina always follows is always followed by a sila. And here the silatul mawsul is Jumlatul Failya. Good job. And here fail is fail madin or mudari. It is mudari marfu bi subuti noon li'annahu min al-af'al al-khamsa, and min al-af'al al-khamsa. So waw is the our file, and rabbahum is going to be your rabba is mafulun bihi, hum is majroor bil idafa bil ghaibi. They fear their Rabb bil ghaibi, muta'alliq bil, and when you have this muta'alliq bil, you can just treat it as muta'alliq bil fail, and some may see it as hal. How do they fear their Rabb when they are in ghaib, in the condition is sometimes in the unseen. It can be considered that as well. There is a possibility that your jar al majroor can be mutaliq bi hal mawsufa min al file, that your file they fear their Rabb. How? When they are in unseen, in the unseen condition of them, they tend to fear their Rabb, okay, as well. Because in front of public, many people show that they are fearing their Rabb, they are very God fearing. But it is very important that when nobody's watching us, we fear our Rabb at that time too, and that is a sign of being muttaqi, right? So now we have this silatul mawsul, and after finding inna wa ismuha, the second thing that we look for is khabru inna, right? Khabru inna. We look for khabru inna, and khabru inna in this case is lahum lahum maghfiratun, right? Lahum maghfiratun wa ajrun kabir. Okay, so for them, for them is a maghfira and a great ajr. So here we have Jumlatul Ismiya, which is the fi mahalli raf'in qabru inna. Lahum is going to be muta'alliq bil qabr muqaddam. Maghfiratun is going to be your mubtada muakhar. And what kind of, if there was no wa ajrun kareem, and you only have lahum maghfiratun only, for them is maghfira, what kind of what is the hukum of taqdeem wa ta'khir? Very good job. And my dear sisters, keep in mind when you will be getting your test on Suratul Mulk, this is how you are going to find it. We may not be going over wajib taqdeem or jais taqdeem every time, but I expect all of you to be able to apply all those concepts that we have been covering in the past few sessions on the surah when the test is there. For example, we may have gone over biyadihil mulk, that what is the hukum of taqdeem wa ta'khir, and you may have said yet this is jais in the very beginning of the silatul mawsul of the first allazi, right? Biyadihil mulk, because it is mubtada is proper, so it is jais for it to be muakhar. But even if I have not talked about it, if did we not cover the topic? What do you think? We have covered the topic. So if you have that in test, you have that in test, please be prepared for that. Okay, inshallah. Be prepared that that can be the part of my test. I must make sure that I look into each and every detail of what we have covered in the past when I am given a test on the surah, which is actually covering all of the topics together, because there's a lot of detail involved in that, right? So lahum maghfiratun, here maghfiratun is going to be, and if I just don't consider anything, lahum maghfiratun, what is the allowance? Why is mubtada nakira? What is the allowance for mubtada to be how you know can we justify, or why is the mubtada allowed to be nakira here, my dear students? What is the making a case? Because your shubhu jumla, because your shubhu jumla is muqaddam, so it is allowed for your mubtada to be muakhar, right? Okay, so now comes your wa ajrun kabir. Wa ajrun kabir, waw is at. Ajrun kabirun is your, ajrun is your mawsuf, and kabirun is your sifa, and that is matuf as well. Right? Why is, if I asked you, why is ajr rough in status? What is the reason of ajr? It is matuf. Why is kabir rough in status? It is a sifa. Is a sifa. Kabir is rough in status because it is a follower. It is a sifa, right? We are going to make sure that we know that this is rough in status because it is a sifa of ajrun. It is not because of atf. Kabir is not matuf. Ajrun is matuf. Kabir is a sifa of ajrun. That is why it is rough in status. Keep that in mind, right? Your tabi and mabtu are going to be of the same status. Your follower and your the one being followed is going to be of the same status. Keep those concepts in your mind, inshallah. So now comes the next sentence. Wa asirru qawlakum awijharu bih. Asirru. Wow is going to be istinaf. Istinaf. See what is coming after it. Asirru. Felul Amr, right? Felul Amr. And who is the doer now? Antum or Wawil Jama'a is the doer, which is the Mir, Baris, Muttasil. It's a doer and it is representative of Antum, right? Because in a standard Felul Amr, you command second person, right? Waw is your doer. Very well done, everyone. And it is the Mir, Muttasil, Baris, right? And what will be the status of the Waw? It is a rough in status because every doer is rough in status. Qawlakum is going to be your mafulun bihi. Aw is your at, right? Ijharu, ijharu is going to be your matu. And again, it is an amr. And the same thing, waw is the doer, and it is representative of your your antum, which is the second person, right? Your second person is represented by this wow here, and you have an in the end bihi, which is jar wal majroor, and it is going to be your muta'alliq bil. Is this clear to all of you? Okay. Now, innahu alimun, innahu alimun bizati sudur. Your jumlatul ismiya, innahu is going to be, who is going to be your ismu inna. Alimun is going to be your khabar, and bizati sudur. Bizati sudur is going to be jar. Bizati is jar wal majroor. Zati sudur is going to be um what is that? Idafa, right? And the whole thing is muta'alliq bil, right? Muta'alliq bil your bil khabar, right? And this sentence, is this sentence starting a new topic? Do you think it is jumlatul isti'nafiya? Will you consider this jumlatul isti'nafiya? Okay. So some are saying that this can be jumlatul haliya. Okay. So while they are hiding, and you all hide your call, or either you hide your call or you expose it. Indeed, he is alim of what is happening in your chest. He is fully aware of what is possessed by your chest, what is hidden in your chest, in your sudur. So some are saying, and this can be your sentence, this can be the while but if I if I have to call it jumlatul haliya, what is what is what is the problem here? Yes, Shamim. Yes. So that is the thing. Where is your sahib there? Okay. Do you always have to have sahibul hal in when you have a jumlatul haliya? Is Sahibul Hal always there? No, Sahibul Hal may not be always there. But if the Sahibul Hal is not there, what is the must? What is the second Rabit that must be there? That must be there. So if the Sahibul Hal is not there, then that meaning that there is no ayat that we have going back to our Sahibul Hal. Then in the second thing, there are two things. There are two types of rabit that we must have. Either we have vowel or we have a pronoun that connects hal and Sahibul Hal. In this case, we don't have that ayat, right? We don't have a pronoun. Ayat is not there. There is no pronoun there. So what was must for the sentence to become sahib, jumlatul haliya? There was a wow that must be there. So if it is not there, then what will you call this sentence? Istinaf or talil? Okay, because he knows you know let me check it. 1 second. It has been it is treated as the sentence most books are thinking of this sentence as okay, yeah, it's mostly treated as istinaf. It is mostly treated as enough, and then you may find some other opinions as well. But remember how we have gone over, it's you have to call something a hal, make sure you have the reasoning behind it. Okay, so but when it comes to inna or la Allah, the sentence may be treated as talil, but there always must be a grammatical background for any of the answers that we give. Okay, if a book has something mentioned and there is the grammatical reasoning based on what you have covered so far, you treat it like that. Here, you can just because there is no wow, we can just simply treat it as jumlatul istinafiyah. We can call it jumlatul istinafiyah, and that will be correct, right? It will be right too, right? Okay, so now let's look at the next sentence where we have ala ya'lamu man khalaqa wa huwa al-latiful khabir. What are we seeing here? For talil, we usually, you will notice the sentence will be beginning with inna or la Allah. Sentence is usually going to begin with inna wala Allah, with jumla to taliliya mostly will begin with inna. Okay. So that is your giveaway that there can be a possibility for that. Okay, when it comes to tali. So now the next sentence has hamza in the beginning, and this hamza you are calling it hamzatul istifham. And among hamza and hal, which one can enter negative kalam, kalam manfi? Only and only hamza is going to enter into kalam manfi. Very well done. Very well done. And la is going to be la nafiya, ya'lamu is going to be fail mudare marfu, bidamatu zahira wal fa'il, man mausula, right? Man mausula, and khalaqa is going to be your silatul mausul, right? And man is going to be fi mahali raf'in. You can, man mausula is fi mahali raf'in, and khalaqa silatul mausul la mahalla laha min al-i'rab. Clear so far? وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ. What kind of a sentence are we looking at? How many rabit are there? The sentence is being treated as jumlatul haliya by sisters in class, and the rationale for that is there are two rabit that they have found. One is Wauhalia, Wauhalia, and then there's a hua there, which is going back to original sentence, right? So there are two rabit here. So this is this can very well be treated as jumlatul haliya. So hua is mubtada, al latif is khabar one, al khabir is going to be your khabar two, right? So this is the end of our session, and inshallah, in the next session, while we will be try to cover more verses, we are going to look into the sarf from verse number 1 to verse number 14. Okay. Damiru Shan does not have marje. It does not have anything before that it is going back to. Is this hua has no marje? Is there nothing that it is going back to? What do you think? I it's ya'lamu. It's going back to something. So can we call this hua as the mirushan? Can this who Sister Faiza is saying that this what about this innahu? The new topic starting, there is nothing before, no marje right before, right? Even if I look back, Rabbahum, essentially for them is a mubtada, and this one you can, if you take it as a new topic and jumlatul istinafiya, you can, say that this is starting a new topic and there is no immediate, ism that it is going back to. This who that has nothing to go back to. There is no ism that is immediately going back to, can be considered as the mirushan, but not this hua. This hua has a marji, right? Has a point of return, has an ism that it is returning back to, and it has a damir before that is returning back to. So, okay. So with that, I will end the session. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear sister. Amin.